All right, so I want to start by going over 5.1. So let's take a look at that. So a bar graph is used to display and compare sizes of different but related quantities. So you'll usually see the bars arranged either ascending or descending order. And then a vertical bar graph, the bars are, you can see them as vertically, and then the labels appear horizontally. So here's an example of one, and this is one that I got out of your book. It's like the first example. So as you see, the horizontal axis here is your countries in 2010. The vertical axis is the cost per person in dollars. And then, so you can kind of see here, it goes up to about 1,500. South Korea goes up to 2,000. Great Britain is 3,500. Most of you guys know how to read a bar graph. So let's look at this question. What is the average cost per person in South Korea in 2010? So let's go back and look. We want to look for South Korea, 2010. So we would say $2,000, right? Okay. What was the average cost of health care per person in Germany in 2000 to the nearest $100? So let's go back and look at Germany. And this looks to be about, let's say, I would say about 4,300. What is the total cost of healthcare in the United States during 2010? So this time you want the total cost of healthcare, and it's known that in 2010 the population was about 309 billion, okay? So United States healthcare was, about 8,200. And so then you take your number and you multiply this by 8,200. And so you end up with about $2.5 trillion. Okay. All right, so here's an example of what a horizontal bar graph looks like. Notice the directions a little bit differently. This way is the cost to drive 25 miles, and then the model of your car. And this one actually tells you how much on each bar because it's a little bit more difficult to see. So how much does it cost to drive the Nissan Leaf the distance of 25 miles? So let's go back. We're looking for a Nissan Leaf, and it costs, and this is cost to drive 25 miles. So how much does it cost? It costs $1. How much more would it cost to drive the Honda Accord 1,000 miles compared to the Nissan Leaf? So the Honda Accord to drive 25 miles is $340. So 25 miles, and that was what the Honda Accord? Yes. Okay, and then the Nissan Leaf costs $1, right? But we want for 1,000 miles. This is only for 25 miles. So how do we figure out how many for 1,000? So you end up taking 1,000 and divide it by 25 to see how many of these do we need. And so 1,000 divided by 25, you get 40. So that means you multiply this by 40, and multiply this by 40. Okay, so 340 times 40, you get $136. My goodness. And then 1 times 40 is 40, so how much more would it cost? So we have to subtract these, and it would cost about $96 for that. All right. By what percent does the cost of driving a Chevy Cruze Eco exceed that of a Chevy Volt? So remember, a percent is always your part over whole. So we're looking at Chevy Cruze Eco Chevy Volt. Chevy Cruze is $3. Chevy Volt is $160. So you're doing the difference of $3 minus $160. Okay. And you get $140. And then you have to take this out of the original amount. And so that will be $160. So you're part of your whole, okay? And so your percentage, which is going to be 40 out of 160. 0.875, and what would that be as a percent? You remember you move it 2 decimal places, so it's about 87.5%. All right, so here's another one. You're comparing the average cost per gallon of gas in 9 different countries during the spring of 2013. So notice here's your on your horizontal, it's country, comparing the cost per gallon in dollars. The purple part is your cost of gas versus how much taxes. So if you look at this, obviously Turkey pays the most in taxes, whereas we probably pay the least amount of taxes than anyone else, any other country. So what is the total cost for a gallon of gas in Canada? We're looking for Canada. Total cost of gallons. Total cost. So the total cost is with the taxes, right? So with everything, a gallon of gas would be $5. Makes sense? In the United Kingdom, what was the dollar amount per gallon represented by taxes? So just taxes. So go to the United Kingdom, we're looking for taxes. How much do they pay? I would say they pay about $4, looks like. It's a lot in taxes. That's why you think about it. In Europe, a lot of people don't drive. In Italy, what percent of the total cost per gallon was represented by taxes? So let's go back. In Italy, this looks to be about 3.5, right? And the total is, I would say, about 9.1 maybe. So if you're doing a percent, right, it's 3.5 over the total, which is 9.1. You divide those, you get 0.3846. So that would be about 38.46%. How much more did it cost to fill up a 16-gallon tank in Turkey than it did in the United States? So remember, Turkey was a lot, right? So Turkey, it cost, I would say about $9.90. In the United States, it costs about 3.5. So $9.09 on a 16-gallon tank. It's going to be about $158.40. And the United States would be, what was it, 3.5 times 16? That gives you about $56. And so then we have to subtract those, and you end up with $102.40. So you would save, depending on which country, if you were in the United States, you would save about $102. A huge difference there. By what percent did the total cost of a gallon of gas in the Czech Republic exceed the cost in Chile? So we're looking at a percentage again. Check is 7. Chili is about 6.15 maybe. So we've got check $7. Chili, so it was like 6.15. We're looking at a percent again. So remember, it's your change. So 7 minus 6.15 over our original amount. So that would be about 0.85 over 7. And that leaves you with about 12%. So check exceeds chili by about 12%. Okay, so here's another one. This bar graph is comparing two different things. We're looking at the walnuts, fat and protein. So fat versus protein in each of these variety of nuts. Which nut contains the least amount of fat per ounce? So let's go back. Which one contains the least amount of fat? Fat is this one. So least amount of fat would be pistachios. Which nut contains the most amount of protein? We're looking for protein, so protein would be peanuts. How many grams of fat are contained in 6-ounce peanuts? Six ounces of peanuts. How much fat? So fat looks like there is about maybe 14. And so 14 per ounce. So if we're talking about 6 ounces, you would do 14 times 6, which is about 84. Okay. And then how many ounces of almonds do we need to eat in order to consume 60 grams of protein? How many olives? We want 60 grams of protein. So we're looking at protein and we're talking about almonds. So almonds, protein, there is about, I would say 6 maybe. So you want to know how many ounces do you need to eat? So we've got 60 grams and we know one almond is about 6 ounces. So we need to figure out how many of these. So here's your equation. So how do you solve for x? We divide by 6. So it's going to be about 10 ounces of almonds.